All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Hillary Clinton. She said a lot, and I want to address it all with Senator Rob Portman, Republican from the great state of Ohio, member of the Senate Finance and Budget Committees, member of the Senate Committee on Homeland Security. And Senator, welcome, sir.
Steve, thanks for having me on.
I don't know, were you watching Hillary at all?
I missed Mrs. Clinton. I was actually on the floor speaking just before this.
Well, she started off by trashing you and the other Republican senators who signed the letter to Iran. She said it was out of step with the best traditions of leadership, and she said there were two logical reasons for doing it, either to be helpful to the Iranians or harmful to the President of the United States. Your response?
Well, just the opposite. I mean, the reason to send a letter is to give the administration the leverage that clearly they need to be able to negotiate a good agreement. If you believe that the negotiations are not going well from the perspective of the United States of America and I would say the free world, because the Iranians refuse to budge on some of the basics, including ensuring that they actually stop their process toward a nuclear weapon, and they are not willing to budge from their positions that they have taken from the outset, then you would want to have Congress weighing in and encouraging them to actually negotiate and to come up with a better agreement. And that's why this letter is important. It's also why some of the legislation that we're proposing is important, because it allows for the Iranians and the administration to know that the Congress is watching and expects a good agreement.
All right, so Hillary, are you surprised that she led off the press conference with a remark about that before the emails?
Well, I think she'd probably like to change the topic from the emails. That doesn't surprise me at all. I didn't know that she was going to focus on, a letter from some Republican members of the House or Senate, but I do think that she's happy to change the topic. But let me be clear, there is a deep concern about the negotiations for a very simple reason. We do not believe that having Iran get a nuclear weapon can be acceptable, partly because they are a country that continues to believe that Israel should be pushed into the sea, doesn't believe in its existence, thinks that it's their right to be able to conduct all kinds of activities that are currently affecting Israel, whether it's supporting Hamas or Hezbollah or others. And then secondly, it is because they are a state sponsor of terrorism, probably, based on any objective analysis, the biggest state sponsor of terrorism in the world. And who knows whose hands that nuclear material might get into should they have the ability to proceed to weaponize. So, this is the ultimate goal that all of us share, and the question is, how do you get to an agreement? And it's not, this letter was about letting the Iranians know that Congress is watching. It was about saying that if it's not a good agreement, then the Congress, because, we should have to approve such an agreement, in our view, will not approve it. And if the President does not take it to us for approval, then it doesn't have the same force that it would if it were an approved agreement by the United States Congress. After all, Congress exclusively has the ability to turn off or turn on sanctions.
All right. Senator, Hillary Clinton seems to be doubling down. She said that there were four things relating to the email. Number one, she opted for convenience, so she wouldn't have to use two phones. So she had everything on her personal email. Now, I'm an idiot, and I have a BlackBerry, and I have 3 email accounts on my BlackBerry. I don't need 3 phones. So I don't know what that means exactly unless I'm missing something. She also said, looking back, it would have been better had she used 2 phones and 2 separate accounts. She also said that this is what every public government employee does. They get to pick and choose. It's their responsibility to choose what to provide to their departments relating to government business. She also said that when asked if she would hand over the server, she said, she didn't say no, but she said, we handed over 55,000 emails. We went through them with a fine-tooth comb. Everything work-related was in the emails we handed over. So she appears to be saying, no, you can't have the server. I handed over everything that's pertinent, and that's all that you're going to get. I made a mistake maybe. Maybe I should have done it better. Is that enough?
No, I don't think that's sustainable. I've even heard Democrats say that she should turn over all the emails, and you heard Dianne Feinstein over the weekend on one of the Sunday shows indicating that she should come clean and allow there to be an objective review of these emails, and I think that's fair. So I understand what she's saying. She would rather not have anybody look at the emails, but I do think that at a minimum there ought to be an objective third party that takes a look at these emails and determines which ones are appropriate to be archived in her role as Secretary of State.
So she should hand over the server.
That's the logical way to do it, because that way we will know where the emails are. If it's again any kind of selection process that her foundation or she or someone else determines, then I don't think it will be viewed as fair.
Senator, is it true that every federal employee as an individual makes judgments on what to hand over?
I don't know that. It seems to me that if it's an official record that she, based on what the president has said himself, that that she was asked to hand those over, and he apparently made that clear to all of his cabinet members.
All right, Senator, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you having me on.
Okay.